Hi, this is Ghost with Corellian Run Radio, bringing you the strategy guide to the final boss of Terror from Beyond, named Terror from Beyond in hard mode. This guide is presented from a DPS point of view, but important details from other roles will be pointed out throughout the encounter. By no means is this the only method that works, but it is the method that works best for our operation group. You may have to adjust your strategy according to what works best for you. Like story mode, you'll want to separate your group into two: one tank, two DPS, and one healer in each. Either a range, a DPS, or a healer from each group needs to stand out at range to avoid the tank and the rest of the group being spit upon. Technically this only has to be one person, but we put one out of each group just as a precaution. The player at range is going to be the target of random spits, so they need to have good raid awareness to play this role. A good way to avoid some of these spits is to use the tunneling tentacle to stay out of the line of sight of the boss's main body. It doesn't always work, but it does seem to reduce the direct hits of both the acid spits and the tentacle slams. Again, like story mode, you'll have to deal with adds that spawn from the water's edge and start making their way towards the tank. DPS needs to kill them before they reach the tank, and you'll have to deal with two sets in hard mode. The first set spawns at about 65%, the second set spawns at about 20%. The first set is preceded by what's called a hypergate beacon. This is a new mechanic for hard mode. The hypergate beacons will start drawing a random ops member at range into the center. If it reaches the center, the person is going to die instantly. So DPS needs to, whoever can reach it, turn and burn it down. You want to avoid the birthers as usual, just from story mode. They do quite a bit more damage in the hard mode, so in either case, stay away from them. We are on the second set of tentacles, and you'll have to deal with a total of 4. Now, going back to the hypergate beacon mechanic, they are actually preceded by a graphical anomaly that you'll see in just a moment. It'll spawn just there, over on the left, and that indicates that the beacon is about to spawn. It's not necessarily always near there, but just means to watch out for them. You want to kill it, and as soon as it's dead, you'll want to turn around and watch for the adds that are coming. They come right after the beacon is dead. Your group will soon get used to the rhythm of the fight. Attack the tentacle, watch for the beacon. When the beacon spawns, kill it, turn around, kill the adds, get back on the tentacle. Tentacle goes down to about 20%, turn around, kill the adds, and get back onto the tentacle. You'll notice that there is still a residual bit of that beacon anomaly that's out and about. It is possible for 2 beacons to spawn during one of the tentacle phases. You'll want to keep your DPS up before that happens. It's not bad if it does reoccur, but it is just more of an annoyance because you don't want to be dealing with that while the birthers are headed right towards you. This is quite a long fight, about 15 minutes in total, so you're not going to be going anywhere anytime soon, especially when you're learning it. Be prepared for quite a few wipes as you learn each phase. You'll see the anomaly there and the beacon, a little closer view of it this time. You can get right up to it as long as you're not the one being pulled in. The person being pulled in can actually run backwards. It just slows down the rate at which you're getting pulled into the beacon, so they should make an effort to try and run out. The good thing is, if you do get dragged through one of the acid puddles, you do not take any additional damage from that. Here we are, just finishing up that tentacle. We want to avoid some birthers. This is the last tentacle phase before going to phase 2, the fourth tentacle set. You'll notice currently that I am being guarded in this video, but before the phase 2 begins, during this phase, once the tank has enough aggro ahead of any of the DPS and healers, they'll want to change their guard over to the healer. Because the DPS will no longer need to be guarded. They're going to be going off on their own in phase 2, but the healers will still draw pretty good amounts of aggro, so guard them before going up into phase 2. You can guard them once you're up at the top, but it's just one less thing to worry about. Here we are finishing the last of the ads and the last tentacle, getting ready to move into phase 2. Now when phase 2 begins, you will want to stay at your group. The left side DPS group, or actually the group, will need to concentrate on the left side of the platforms. Right side will concentrate on the right side of the platforms. The healers should remain on the opening platform. At this vantage point, they can see everyone on the field and heal everyone without range to worry about. The newest mechanic in hard mode are called hypergate anomalies and are cast by the tentacles. They'll first cast at 75%, then again at about 50%, and once they are cast, they need to be called out so that the DPS can start looking around for anomalies that spawn. Now, keep in mind that anomalies don't always spawn when the cast is complete, but they should look around, and if they have anomalies on their side, it doesn't matter which tentacle cast it, they should DPS down the ones on their side rather than having a DPS running all over the place on the field. The other new mechanic is the screen debuff that gets applied to the tank that is tanking the boss when the cast is started. As for story mode, the tank swap needs to happen, but in addition to that, the tank with the screen debuff need to make their way to the platform 1, which is the one that the healers are standing on. Once they reach that position, they'll look around and you'll be able to see a darkened area where they stand in, which will remove the screen debuff. The timer to cleanse the screen debuff is quite long, but the trick is to get it cleansed off and get back into position before the other tanks get the screen debuff, so that you're in position when that tank has to leave and get theirs cleansed. The carryover from story mode are the hypergate irregularities. If you target the Terror from Beyond boss and put him as your focus, you'll get a little timer so that you'll be able to see how much time you have to kill all the irregularities. You'll want to get these down completely, otherwise they'll start doing AoE damage to the raid. Here we are moving over to the second set of tentacles. These are further back, so the tanks shift over towards the front of the boss to tank him up there. Here he is casting the anomaly, and we split off, running up to the high ground to check out, and it looks like we have an anomaly on our side. Glancing over, we don't see an anomaly on the other side. So we report that, then get back onto the tentacle. It's important to get the timing of your slams down, otherwise you might do what I just did right there and jump right into it. Fortunately, wearing heavy armor mitigates some of that damage, as well as having our healers watching us. Here he is casting the second anomaly for this tentacle. Looks like we have one here, and it isn't immediately obvious, but there is an additional one on that side which we'll report, and so the DPS on that side of the map go to kill that. It may look like the DPS have quite a bit to do watching anomalies and irregularities, and admittedly it is a lot, but the fight itself is very fun. You get to jump around, platform to platform, in and out, and it is overall very, even though it's busy, it is very fun to deal with. There's a tentacle going down, and we still have another one up. I almost missed the timing on that one again. Now from this platform right behind Terror from Beyond, you cannot be healed. Unfortunately, he does line of sight, so you want to avoid this back platform when at all possible. I leave that platform for the other DPS to finish up, and pop right into one of the irregularities. You will have a total of 3 sets of tentacles to deal with, so the next set will be the last. I'll leave that one for Buddy to finish up. Move on to the others. These are easily soloable, but you don't want to spend too much time sitting on one, because they do some damage to you while you're burning them down. Looks like we run out of time. This is the AoE that's going on around. Fortunately, we get it killed up before things get too much damage goes out. This is the final set of tentacles to deal with. You still have to deal with the anomalies at 75 and 50% that spawn, but you no longer have to worry about the irregularities that will follow after the tentacle dies. Instead, after the final tentacle dies, the Terror from Beyond will go into a softened rage. Before that happens, everyone needs to be standing on a platform on their own. That means the healers at the top that were just staying on the same platform, one of them needs to move off. The tanks need to be on their own platforms, and the DPS that are paired up, one of those need to be moved off as well. The reason for being on your own platform for the softened rage is due to the random aggro drop. The Terror from Beyond will target a random person, and if 2 people happen to be on that same platform, both of the targets on that platform will take the damage. Tanks will have to plan ahead and decide who will taunt first, and all subsequent taunts will be ping-ponged back and forth between the 2. If the tank is quick enough, they can actually grab aggro back before the random person is slammed with one of their tentacles. Here we are entering the softened rage phase. If you watch the target of Terror from Beyond, you'll see the aggro drops and the taunts picking them back. As I said, if you are fast enough, you can actually grab aggro back before the slam comes down onto a non-tank, thus saving quite a bit of damage. Fortunately, you only have to get him down to 3% before he is defeated and pushed back into the hypergate where he's sitting now. Be sure to visit us at CorellianRun.com to catch up on your latest Star Wars: The Old Republic news and information. And you can email us at CorellianRun@gmail.com. You can also visit my live stream channel at twitch.tv/ghost, GHOZTT, and subscribe, and you'll get notifications whenever I go live with a operation. Thanks for watching.